What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Thursday, April 22nd. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comment section, who are your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate? We're rounding out the bottom of my top 10, with Miles Bridges, Najee Marshall, Cole Anthony, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Tobias Harris, if he plays. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up at number 5, we're going to the power forward spot, and we are paying up for Zion Williamson. He is 9,800, projected for 47. The goal is 56. He's in the optimal lineup 27% of the time. Now, you know what you're getting out of Zion at this point. 36 minutes, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. It's a great matchup against Orlando in that Orlando isn't very good, but it is a bit of a pace down spot for the Pelicans. But at 30% usage, 30 real points, 8 boards, 3.5 assists, maybe a stock and a half. Look, the raw points on this 6-game slate look pretty good. I don't find Luka to be all that efficiently priced. So getting to a $9,800 Zion at the power forward spot seems like a really nice spot to me. That's why he's showing up in the optimal lineup 27% of the time. Next up at number 4, we're going to shooting guard, $5,500 Josh Jackson. There are some caveats here. I am going with the assumption as of right now that Mason Plumlee, Jeremy Grant, Corey Joseph, Wayne Ellington, all of the older guys are going to be sitting on the back-to-back due to rest. If that changes, then this changes. But for now, Josh Jackson looking to get 30 minutes, just about a fantasy point per minute as a starter, 30.5 fantasy points, 41-point goal, and he shows up in the optimal lineup 29% of the time. He gets a nice usage bump when all those guys are off, so 28% usage, 17 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 2 stocks, 1.9 stocks, but, we'll round up, it's easier. Taking on San Antonio, it's an absolutely pace-neutral matchup. You see on the screen, they lose 1/10 of a possession over or under their average in this case, so essentially pace-neutral. It's just Josh Jackson getting an additional role at a mid-tier price at a shooting guard spot that's pretty difficult to fill on this 6-gamer. Speaking of $5,500 Pistons, power forward eligible Isaiah Stewart is coming in the number 3 spot, projected for just shy of 32. The goal's 41. He's in the optimal lineup 30% of the time. Now, I just mentioned everything that I'm thinking for the Pistons. Don't think we're going to see Plumlee or Grant or Ellington. So Isaiah Stewart should get the start and play 30 minutes at center. That's just what we've seen for the recent past. 30 minutes for Isaiah Stewart, 1.06 fantasy points per minute. Now, he's the lower usage guy, 16%, but 12 points, 9 boards. He's very close to a just natural double-double, north of 2 stocks combined. Same matchup against San Antonio, pace neutral, nothing too crazy. I mean, they're not going to be the favorites or anything against San Antonio. San Antonio is still pretty solid. Pistons, very much not solid. But for $5,500 for both Stewart and Jackson, I love that combination today on FanDuel. Next up at number 2, we're going to the point guard spot, and we're grabbing $6,900 Kemba Walker. Now, Boston is going to be still without Robert Williams, without Evan Fournier, and it's looking like without Jaylen Brown, but it's possible that Jason Tatum is also out. For this exercise, Brown is out, Tatum is in, and Kemba sees a really nice usage bump with no Jaylen Brown on the floor. It'll go up, I assume, even further if Jason Tatum happens to get ruled out, but for right now, we still get Kemba in the 2 spot. 35 minutes, 1.1 fantasy points per minute, 30% usage, 23 points, 5.5 assists, and 4 boards. Now, it's a slight pace down spot against Phoenix, and obviously a very tough matchup against a really good Phoenix team. But at the same time, you expect this game to be competitive. And if it is competitive, Kemba Walker is likely playing 35 minutes, potentially even 30. There's an extra minute in there if things go well. I'm very happy to get Kemba Walker when one of the other stars isn't on the floor. He gets to be able to go back to old Kemba. That's why you see him at $6,900 right now. That price tag works, but when Kemba doesn't have those same stars, he can get into the high 7s. So I think he is underpriced given the guys that will be out for Boston today, and that gets him into the number 2 spot. Now, before we get to that number 1 contender, one last reminder to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Then, follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get the updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. I am not on live before lock tonight, but since it's a 6-game slate, I'll have no issue being able to get everything updated and out probably around the 6 p.m. time, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Finally, underneath this video, the comments section, I need your favorite contender. I need your least favorite contender. And I need the contender that you think should be on this list that I did not include. Now, the number one contender is shooting guard eligible Terrence Ross. He's 4,700, looking to be back today. Projected for 28. The goal is 38. Optimal lineup 35% of the time. If Terrence Ross is playing with most of the, previous high usage guys out and still no Michael Carter-Williams for this one, I've got him in for 28 minutes, a fantasy point per minute. This dude is going to heave when he's out there. 28% usage, 18 real points in 28 minutes, 3.5 boards, 2.5 assists. He's not going to do a ton else. Taking on New Orleans, slight pace up spot, but you're not worried about the defense at all. You're just getting Terrence Ross, a guy that is going to shoot and shoot and shoot when he is on the floor at a discount. He's way too cheap for 4,700 when he is in. The price has fallen. I love getting to Ross here. It's also possible that James Ennis is out. He is questionable right now. Not that as like a one-to-one relationship to Terrence Ross, but it just makes the minutes more likely for Ross. Because I think that he could play, I don't know his health right now, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think 28 minutes is pretty realistic, but he could go more. They certainly have the ability to do so, and they need his scoring. So if Ross is healthy, and that's still a question mark for sure, 28 minutes of Terrence Ross is the number one contender on FanDuel today. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Thursday, April 22nd. Again, process show in the books already. Go watch that. DraftKings version of this video is around here somewhere. Strategy show with Adam Kaufman today at 10 a.m., but no live before lock, so stay tuned for my Twitter. We've got one more of these to go this week. I will see you guys again tomorrow morning for another edition of the Contenders.